On this video, we're going to cover the 30 to 45 minute treatment. Sometimes it can go as much as an hour, and in rare instances I've seen it actually go a little bit longer than that. But we're going to cover the treatment that should take 30 to 45 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole session lasting that long. The difference would be, normally you'd let your rod, pendulum, or hand spin down. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and ask the energies to continue working, and I'll move to the next category. You can do the same thing when you feel more comfortable with it. It works very well. You just want to make sure to go back and do a recheck on all your categories and make sure that you haven't missed anything. By now, you should be familiar with your categories, so I'm just going to go down the categories in their list of importance and their list of relevance to the client. The first thing to remember before we begin the protocols is to make sure that you stay hydrated. If you're going to be working for 30, 45 minutes or even an hour at doing this, continue. Do not feel afraid to stop what you're doing and get hydrated. Pick a point to stop, take a drink. Make sure you're maybe even a little overly hydrated before you start, because you will use up a lot of body fluids using these techniques. These techniques delve much deeper into the body, and they bring more attention energy to the specific areas. And so we can find things that are either really, really subtle and underlying that we may have missed with a general protocol, or we can be fairly specific as to what it is, and we can convey that to the client as to what we're finding. Again, remember, as always, you can do this in your mind, but I'm going to do it out loud so that you can follow along. So the first thing that I'm going to check for is resistances of the client. Are there resistances? And I'm getting a no, and I've already done some work on her earlier off camera, so there's probably not a lot of resistances left. But if I would have got resistances, of course I want to remove all the resistances before I continue. So we'll move into our next phase. In the spiritual category, there are two different areas that breaks into two subcategories: paranormal activity and psychic activity. Again, by now you should have the video and know your different categories and what they mean. So I'm just going to do the protocols for the sake of time in the video and not being repetitive. So, spiritual category, there is phenomenon present. I get a yes response, okay? And so I say, is it in the paranormal category? I get a yes response. Are there anomalies? Yes. Entities? I get a yes. Demonics? I get a no. Okay? So she's tested for 2 out of 3 in that category. Now I'll say, search for all, remove all, clear all, and the hand starts to move. Now I'm doing all 3 of those categories at the same time. I'm doing anomalies, entities, and the spiritual category all at the same time. So if anything that tested positive, basically, that's what it's working on right now. Now I can go in and specifically do each category, but that's not necessary unless you really want to spend a long time doing it, which is fine, because the more attention you give to it, the better your therapy session will be. However, again, just repeating the process will take care of the problem. Please continue working until all have been removed. Also, I want to back up a little bit and tell you, I'm working on the whole being. I'm not just checking outside, I'm not just checking inside. I'm doing the whole being. All the aspects of who she is are being cleared of these anomalies and entities at this particular time. So, with that, I go in and check now the psychic category. Are there psychic phenomenon present? And I get a yes response. Okay? And so, is there psychic detachment? Yes. Okay. Psychic attack? Yes. Okay. Is there psychic protection? Yes. Okay. Search for all, remove all, clear all. And because I'm doing multiple categories, I'm using the search for all, remove all, clear all command or request so that all those energies may be cleared. Please continue until all have been removed. Okay? So now this should have cleared the spiritual category, which has the two subcategories of paranormal and psychic. All right? So I'll let that burn for a while, and I'll move on to the emotional category. Now we're going to move on to the emotional category, which breaks down into two subcategories. The first one being emotional energy, and that deals with excess, deficiency, or stagnation. And the second category is the mind category, which breaks down into suppression, masks, and defense mechanisms. And so we're going to start by checking for the emotional components. Are there emotional components in this being? Okay? Get a yes response. Is it excessive? Yes. Okay. Is it deficient? Yes. Is there stagnation? Yes. Okay. Search for all, remove all, clear all. And I start to feel the field generate around the body. Please continue until all have been corrected or removed. Okay. So I'll let that spin out. Thank you. And so now move on to the next subcategory, which is the mind category. So mental holdings. Is there suppression of emotion in the body? I get yes. Okay. Are there masks? Yes. Are there defense mechanisms? Yes. Search for all, remove all, clear all. And so there again the field starts to kick up even more, and more things are occurring and happening right now. And so thank you, and please continue until done. And that'll continue to work until all things have been removed. Of course, I'm going to come back later and check each category to make sure that's just good practice if you let the energies run by themselves. So the next category we'll be going to is the physical category. Now we're going to cover the physical, and the physical breaks down into two subcategories. And the first one is damage, and so we check, is there anything in the physical category? And we get a yes response. Okay. Is there anything in the damage category? Yes. Okay. Is there an injury present? Yes. Abuse? Yes. Trauma? Yes. Search for all, remove all, clear all. Please continue until all have been removed.